Welcome back to Adam versus the Man. It's not often that I get directly involved in individual acts of police brutality. They happen so often, and righteous indignation can get so tiring, even when Americans' lives and well-being are threatened every day by a justice system that is out of control, in which accountability is rare and nothing changes despite the best efforts of those with truth and justice on their sides. But maybe it's because this one hits a little close to home. Maybe it's because I actually feel personally threatened with this one. This is why living in the city of Washington, in the District of Columbia, means being surrounded by people who are a threat to your physical safety. Ironically, still in the name of serving and protecting. The incident you are about to see occurred just yesterday at the U Street Metro and involved 2 officers with the Metro Transit Police. You see, the officer on the left there actually put his right foot in front of the victim before pushing him forward. All right, so fortunately here at this point, our impromptu cameraman is able to get around as he goes to help out the victim. You'll see in just a moment here. People are starting to gather. The police officers are looking uncomfortable.
I want to get involved with this. Hey, Mr. Harry, you all right? What y'all do now? What y'all do now?
All right, hold on.
What y'all do now? What?
All right, freeze it right there. Yes. All right. That's blood. You can see his hat. There's his hat there, but most of that in front of his face, that's blood. What are the officers doing? When any sane human being would be saying, "Holy crap, there's a bleeding disabled man on the sidewalk. Let's help this guy and call an ambulance." Roll tape.
You guys can move on. Come on. Hey, yo, you see this?
Hey,
Splitty Waddle!
that man just came out of the wheelchair.
They him up for real!
Yeah, they sure did. And you know what? They are asking people to move along. They are pushing back witnesses to their crime. They are standing over their victim like you stand over an animal you have hunted down before posing for a trophy picture with it. This is your tax dollars at work, America. And it would be one thing if this was some fluke, but no. It's happened before. This from the Chicago Police Department. There must be some training for police officers about how they're supposed to deal with suspects in wheelchairs. I tried to get some more information today from the Metropolitan Transit Police, maybe an interview perhaps, and the person that I spoke to was very polite, but refused to answer any questions except with, "I can send you our official statement on that." I got the email just a few minutes later, and although I was holding out just the slightest shred of hope that the statement held some slightly apologetic note, unsurprisingly, I was disappointed. The statement I received from Metro Transit Police Public Information Officer Steve Taubenkibble reads, "On Thursday, May 19, the Metro Transit Police on routine patrol at the U Street Metro Rail Station observed a patron in a wheelchair drinking an alcoholic beverage. The officers asked the patron to leave the area, and he refused. The officers then attempted to issue the patron a citation, and when the patron refused to comply with the issuance of a citation, he was told that he would be placed under arrest. The patron resisted arrest, which resulted in him falling out of his wheelchair. The patron was arrested for assault on a police officer and drinking in public." I just want to point out that Stephen might be using a slightly different definition of the word falling. So let me help illustrate this for you.
Piper
This is Roddy Piper falling with the help of Macho Man Randy Savage.
From personal experience, that is just an awful thing to happen to you. You don't know where you are, and neither does Savage.
This is Ric Flair falling with the help of Macho Man Randy Savage.
Macho Man going to the outside.
And this is Hulk Hogan falling with the help of, yes, Macho Man Randy Savage. This definition of falling is unacceptable. And I'm putting my foot down, and I'm announcing an official copblock.org call flood to demand accountability and an apology for this absurd lie that the victim of this incident of police brutality fell out of his wheelchair. We'll be following up on this. And today, we tried to get in touch with them, and Stephen didn't even have the courtesy of returning my call. But if you share my outrage and want to help me do something about this, please call Metro Transit Police Public Information Officer Stephen Taubenkibble at 202-962-2474 and tell him that this is unacceptable. Tell him that you demand justice for the victim of this crime and that the names of the officers who participated in the attack be released to the public and that they be brought to justice. And tell him to return my calls while you're at it. Joining me now to tell us about call floods and how to be effective in this campaign is Adamo Freeman from copblock.org. Adamo, thank you so much for joining us tonight. So,
hey, thanks for having me on, Adam. I appreciate it.
It's obvious what a call flood is, but how does it actually work? And in a case like this, what is the desired effect that we're working for?
Well, absolutely. The desired effect is to get accountability, to hold these officers accountable, and to know that the public is watching. I have many court cases that I've dealt with police officers, and you're stacked against you. So the goal is to win in the court of public opinion before it even gets to the court that is stacked against you, which is the court of the justice system, which is failing. So the best way to get accountability and to be effective in a call flood, which is as if you believe in the video of the officer's actions in the video to be wrong, is to call them and let them know, because a lot of these people are elected and they're paid for by us. So if you can put pressure on them, the public, then you can get them to do what's right, way much sooner than you can in the justice system.
So how can callers to Metro Transit Police Public Information Officer Stephen Taubenkibble at 202-962-2474, one more time, 202-962-2474, how can people calling that want to be helpful in this case be the most effective?
Well, if you really want to be effective, you need to keep your cool. You can't swear at the officers or tell them how messed up it was, even though we all know that's what it is. Tell them that you're in the area, you visit D.C., you live in the area. Calm, cool, and collected is the best way to go, and on how you don't appreciate it, and that you'd like a follow-up. You'd like transparency, you'd like accountability, and that if the person on the phone can help you with that, you know, this is their colleagues. And the more people that talk about this, the more it goes down the chain. So calm, cool, collected, it's definitely the way to go. This has worked before in the past for copblock.org. If anyone needs an example, they can head to copblock.org/AdamsArrest, which was when I was arrested in Las Vegas. We actually shut down the phone system. 22 hours later, I was released without charges, and it's quite an effective tool that has worked for others as well.
Outstanding. Well, we hope we can have some of that effect in this case and bring justice to the officers that were responsible for this brutal act of brutality. Thank you for joining us, Adamo. That was Adamo Freeman from copblock.org.